If you are looking for simple ways to uncomplicate your weight loss or health journey, I'm sharing 5 simple steps that you can start with now. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm excited to share some changes that I've made recently to help with my weight loss goal. Back in February and really into March, I just felt so bloated, and I was honestly a little bit shocked when I stepped on the scale and saw that I had gained quite a few pounds unexpectedly. So I made some drastic changes to my health routine that I'm excited to share with you today. These were all very effective and very manageable changes that you can make. And as long as you are sticking to it and being consistent, I have no doubts that you will reach your health goals. So let's get started. All right, step number 1, and I'm starting with this one because I do feel like it's the easiest change to make that will make a difference, and that is increasing your steps. Well, so many of us are sitting at a desk all day or even just standing and just not getting a ton of steps in. I was honestly shocked when I looked on my Apple Health app and saw that most days I was getting under 3,000 steps a day. And of course they recommend at least 10,000. So I was nowhere near that. So I started to go on walks in the morning, and we like to go on family walks and things like that whenever we can, but it is so dependent on the weather. Especially here in Georgia, we have 4 seasons. So in the winter, if it's freezing, I'm not motivated to go outside and walk. Or now that it's getting hot and we're getting closer to summer, it's just gonna be so humid, and it's just not enjoyable to me to walk with the sun like beating down on me. So I'm kind of restricted on if the weather's nice, or even like with my schedule, depending on how late my daughter sleeps in, whether or not I can get those walks in. So about a month ago now, I have been using a WalkingPad. It's a foldable treadmill, and I wanted to share an update with y'all. So if you haven't heard of WalkingPad, they make different models of foldable treadmills. They're all really compact and easy to roll around. The one I have just rolls around. I can use it in multiple rooms of the house, so it's easy to get my steps in throughout the day. Whether I'm posting on Instagram, I can just hop on there and get some steps in, or in the evening I like to read my Kindle or watch, Vanderpump Rules or Love Island or whatever junk TV I'm deciding to watch that night. Speaking of, let me know what you're currently watching down in the comments below. So ever since getting this WalkingPad, I have significantly increased my steps throughout the day because I can easily just hop on it multiple times a day. I can just unfold it, plug it in, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about the weather outside. A lot of times I can work from my phone, so I'm replying to comments and posting things in the LTK app, for example, while I'm getting steps in. You can, of course, get a standing desk. If you sit at a desk all day, that will be perfect for you. Actually, WalkingPad does make standing desks, so I'll link those down below. Definitely the best feature of this treadmill is, again, just how compact it is and how easily it folds, and you can store it away. And another important feature to note about this treadmill is I really like the length of it. When I was looking at different more compact treadmills, a lot of them are really short, and I have pretty long legs, and I find no restrictions to my stride length or anything like that. You can even like slowly jog on it depending on the treadmill you get. Some of them you can go at a higher speed. The model that I have is the white C2, and it ranges from 0.5 to I believe 3.5 speed is the top max. I personally do not enjoy running, so I didn't go for the model that offered a higher speed than that. I just wanted it purely for walking. I just wanted to kind of uncomplicate it because honestly, I know that I don't like running, so I'm probably not going to stick with that consistently. But walking is something that I really enjoy. I feel like it really helps with my stress levels, and it doesn't feel like I'm working out, but it's still really helpful and beneficial for your body. So with this treadmill, you can use it on different settings. So they have both a manual or an automatic setting. So with manual, you can adjust it with the Bluetooth remote, or you can download the app and adjust it from your phone. And the app does display all of your activity levels if you want to see everything all at once. Or on the bottom of the treadmill, as you're walking, it will flash different activity levels such as your estimated calories, your distance, your number of steps, and your time. So you can see all of that from the treadmill or within the app. If you want to use it on the automatic program, This is based on where you're standing on the treadmill. So if you stand closer to the front, that will tell it to kind of speed up. If you're standing more in the middle, that will keep it at a similar pace. And if you want to slow down or stop, you can just go towards the end of the treadmill. So it's more of an adjustable kind of automatic speed versus changing it on the remote. I am so excited to partner up with WalkingPad for this video to give you guys a huge discount. So you can use code Strawberry Chic and get $110 off your treadmill. Such a great deal, and I have no doubts that y'all will love this. Not only is it the cutest treadmill ever, but it's also just so practical with the folding feature. Easy to use, easy to move around, and get your steps in throughout the day. So if you're wanting to check out WalkingPad or their standing desk, I will link my favorite models down below. My model comes in black, yellow, blue, and red if you don't like the white, but they also have other models and features in them as well as a standing desk. So I'll link a couple different options for you down below. All right, step number 2 is to find a workout that you can enjoy. And if you hate working out, you're probably giggling at me right now. I know starting is honestly the hardest step that you will take. As soon as you get in that routine, you're gonna realize how much better you feel about yourself and feel getting your body moving, and it will be so much easier. But I promise you that first time is the hardest time. You don't have to stick to some like strict program or only one thing. I personally like to mix up my workouts and activity. I just get bored with things if I am too repetitive with them. So personally right now, what's working for me is I really enjoy Pure Barre. I love their workouts, but I also just love the community aspect. It's getting me out of the house since I work from home. My toddler is with us at home all day. It's just really nice to take, 2 or 3 classes a week and get out of the house, kind of prioritize myself, and I really enjoy it. So try different things in the beginning and see what you enjoy. So growing up as a competitive athlete, I always had this mindset that if I wasn't dripping in sweat and nearly about to puke, that I just wasn't working out effectively, because that's just what I was used to. So it kind of took a lot for me, and kind of just accepting that my body is not the same, especially after having a baby. And I just don't enjoy those high intensity workouts. I just feel exhausted after them, and I want to feel like I need more energy. I don't need my exercise to like exhaust my body. And I just know that I don't stick with things if I don't enjoy it. So you may like higher intensity exercise, and that's great, but it's not the only way to do things, and it will be just as effective to do something more low impact. So give different things a try, whether that's Pilates. There's so many free things even here on YouTube to try out. So on top of Pure Barre, I also follow the Peleton app. About twice a week, I try to get in some form of strength workout. Sometimes maybe even 3 times a week, I'll throw in Pilates class. It's just kind of whatever I'm feeling for that day. But I try to get in, if I can, 5 days a week, some sort of strengthening class. So I have a doctorate of physical therapy and my bachelor's degree in exercise science. So just to kind of summarize how I came to this plan as far as like my exercise and how much I was working out, I would reference the ACSM guidelines. I don't think these have changed at all since I was even in undergrad. So over 10 years now. I think they are still sticking to the same recommendation, and that is 30 minutes of moderate intensity 5 times a week. And that is really just for basic heart health and like body health. If you are wanting to lose weight on top of that benefit, then it's recommended to get about 60 minutes per day. Now, I know that can seem very overwhelming. You don't have to get 60 minutes all at once. So say you wake up, go for a 20-minute walk on your walking pad or outside, and then later in the evening you do a 40-minute workout. That is getting your 60 minutes in. It doesn't have to be all at once. And another thing that I want to mention too is what I learned in school was to do a minimum of at least 10 minutes together. So if you're wanting to go for a 10-minute walk in the morning, 10-minute walk during your lunch break, and a 10-minute walk in the evening, that is just as effective too. And ACSM also recommends to do at least 2 strength workouts a week. So that's why I try to do at least 2 up to 5 days of strengthening. If you are doing more high intensity workouts, the recommendation isn't as high as that. I think it's around 20 minutes, 3 times a week. I'd have to double check that. But These are really easy guidelines that you can Google search, but that's where I get my information from. Step number 3 is to accurately count your calories. So I would recommend to use an app for this. The app that I used is MyFitnessPal, and this app is such an OG in the app world. I remember using this in PT school, and then I did use it for postpartum weight loss as well. But it's so effective to track and see exactly what you're eating. It's honestly a little bit eye-opening in the beginning because even your coffee creamer, it adds up. So I started tracking every single thing in this app, and from there, it really gave me some great information on how I can improve my diet. And for me, I really don't feel restricted when I'm counting calories. I use it just as a general guideline. So if I'm still wanting to eat a cookie or my favorite, what are they? These chips from Trader Joe's that I honestly shouldn't buy because I have no self-control. But if I want to eat some of those, I'm just more intuitive with eating them. And I, will count how many chips I'm eating instead of just mindlessly eating the entire bag, because I know I'm going to have to put it into MyFitnessPal. And I don't want to be slapped in the face with how many calories it actually was, So it is a very helpful tool that I enjoy using, and it can be a little time consuming in the beginning as you're searching for things. They do have a lot of restaurant meals and things like that, but if you eat the same things most days of the week, it's really quick and easy once you get going with it. And on top of this app, another thing that I would recommend doing is to weigh your food with a food scale. You can't just go off the estimated serving sizes, especially once you weigh food, you'll realize just how inaccurate those can be. So I would weigh all of my food before eating it. So if I was making avocado toast, I would weigh the toast, put how many grams it was. A little note there, you do want to weigh things before you cook them or even before you toast them, just because the water will dissipate and it will be really inaccurate. It will be much lighter after you cook it. So just weigh before you cook. But I would measure every single thing and put the exact grams in MyFitnessPal, and that's going to give you the best and most optimal results. So within the app, you can put your own goals, whether you're wanting to maintain, gain weight, or lose weight. That's really up to you. But MyFitnessPal will just be a general guideline as to what is appropriate for you to eat that day. All right, step number 4 goes along with this app, but that is eating the right foods. And I know this for me is the most overwhelming or the most difficult part of my health journey has always been diet, because I really love foods. But once I started tracking my food in MyFitnessPal, it was very eye-opening. I really underestimated how much protein I was eating, and that's, for me, probably the most important macro to get in. So that's really what I was focusing on, was eating as much protein as I could at every single meal. And then carbs and fat, I wasn't honestly too strict with getting those ratios exact, as long as my calories were correct personally, because I prefer like avocados and olive oils and things like that over carbs. So you will find if you are restricting your calories to what you're used to and you're not eating the right macros, you are going to be miserable. So if you're like, okay, like I can count calories, but I'm just going to eat like this slice of pizza and shove dessert in there for your calories, you're just not going to get enough micronutrients and even macronutrients to keep you full. So it's so important to get quality calories when you're tracking your calories, especially focusing on the protein aspect, because you're going to stay fuller longer in between meals. All right, step 5 is something that I do intermittently, pun intended, but that is intermittent fasting. So this is something that I've done off and on through the years. And as I was tracking my calories, I realized that it was very challenging to stay in my calorie goal if I was eating 3 meals a day. So I was basing it off of a more aggressive goal. I was really trying to cut down as much as I could before our trip to Hawaii. Tim was also doing a cut. I don't even really want to call mine a cut because I was just trying to lose weight, honestly. But we were both kind of cutting down our calories, prepping for our trip. So I did a little bit more of an aggressive calorie restriction on MyFitnessPal, and it was so difficult to stay in that when I was eating 3 meals a day. So I was like, I'm just going to start intermittent fasting. So I stopped eating by 7 p.m. and then my first meal would be at 12 the next day. So I think that's about a 15-hour window I feel like there's honestly a lot to learn when it comes to intermittent fasting, especially for women. I'm interested to see like how effective it can be depending on, your cycle and things like that. So I need to do a little bit more research on intermittent fasting, but I will say from personal experience, and even from when I've done this in the past, I did notice once I started doing that, I think 2 weeks before my trip, I was significantly less bloated in the morning, and the calories and inches came off fairly quickly. And intermittent fasting isn't something that I want to do every single day for the rest of my life, but I think it's a really useful tool to add in maybe a couple times a week or as needed, but it's not something I want to do every single day. So after making those 5 changes, I was quickly able to get back to my normal weight, thankfully, and I'm significantly less bloated. I do feel like adding in like those steps on the walking pad throughout the day has also helped with bloating, just because I'm moving so much more, not just sitting at my computer or sitting on my phone all day. If you're wanting to check out WalkingPad, don't forget to use code Strawberry Chic for $110 off your $400 purchase. I'll link the exact model that I have down below, as well as a couple of their other models and their standing desk if you want to get the full set. It's perfect if you work from home or if you are just wanting to improve your health. Adding in those steps throughout the day, I feel like has made a big difference in not only my weight, but also just my mental health as well. So definitely recommend. Let me know if you try out any of these steps. Pun not intended, but had to go there. Down in the comments below. And if you have any tips, definitely share them with us as well. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.